You may have heard that on Monday, October 7th, news was released that scientists have discovered 20 new moons orbiting Saturn. I have to give cred, the International Astronomical Union's Minor Planet Center announced this first. But super cool, right? That now puts Saturn at 82 moons, 3 ahead of Jupiter's 79 and a whopping 81 ahead of little old Earth. But our moon is the best moon, so it's okay. And talking about our moon, hi everybody, it's Abby here, and are we ready to get moony-eyed over our moon once again? I'm talking about part 2 of scary things that really happened on the moon. Our moon. Also, make sure to stick around until the end for some cool moon facts I got for you as I was looking into all this stuff. Alright, number 10. Is it a space station? I thought I'd start this one off with a comment that inspired me off the last video. YouTube user Darth Elias, I believe, commented that that's no moon, it's a space station on the last video, so I looked into it. And unfortunately, not much came up. While a space station on or in the moon might be an interesting idea, it's not the current reality. There is an international space station orbiting Earth that gathers some really cool data though, so yeah, maybe they'll move it to the moon. But I really like where your head's at, and there's a little more information on a similar theory, which brings us into number 9. It's an alien spaceship. Space station, spaceship, spacecraft, they are all similar, right? On the same wavelength, at least. So, have aliens been living inside the moon this entire time? Let's crack into it. Okay. An article titled, "Is the Moon a Creation of Alien Intelligence?" came out in a Soviet magazine called Sputnik in 1970. This article was written by Michael Vasek and Alexander Sherbakov from what was then known as the Soviet Academy of Sciences, now known as the Russian Academy of Sciences. They think that under a rocky layer of the moon there is an armored hull protecting the spacecraft housing unknown beings. People who believe this theory cite that the moon rang like a bell when it was landed on, which was a true quote. This comes from an article in Popular Science where it said the moon rang like a bell for an hour after the Apollo 12 deliberately crashed its ascent stage of its lunar module. People have used this descriptor to allege that, hey, a bell is hollow and it rings, wouldn't the moon be hollow if it rings too? Plus, the moon isn't as dense as the Earth. It's 3.3 grams per centimeter cubed, whereas Earth is 5.5 grams per centimeter cubed. So, is it a space station? Well, the thing is, it can't maintain its mass and gravitational field without a dense core, so only if the aliens have a super dense core, then maybe. Now on to number 8. Lunatics. Well, this isn't on the moon, it's some scary stuff about the moon's possible influence. I know my mom tells me more weird things happen around full moons than usual, and she blames it for a bunch of stuff, and I've heard a lot of people do it too. In the Middle Ages, scientists and philosophers thought a full moon caused unusual behavior as well. The unusual behavior they thought it caused though, they thought it caused things as serious as seizures, fever, and rheumatism. If I lost you on rheumatism, don't worry, I looked it up too, and those who already know, don't rub it in, okay? Rheumatism is any disease marked by inflammation and pain in the joints, muscles, or fibrous tissue, especially rheumatoid arthritis. So yeah, scientists and philosophers thought that the moon did this. Seriously. And they even had a name for the people under the influence of a full moon. Lunatics. Surprise, that's where the word comes from. Break it down. Luna, the Latin word for moon. Yeah, some more Latin. Ex luna scientia. From the moon. Knowledge. Or from the moon. Rheumatoid arthritis. You decide. On to number 7. Space trash. So it's scary that our world is filling up with trash faster than we can find places for it, but newsflash, there's also trash on the moon. Most likely upwards of 400,000 pounds of it too. Most of it is old lunar probes or other spaceships that were built just to see if they could land on the surface, but also lunar orbiters that crashed into the surface. This is starting to sound more messy than my room. Their excuse for not cleaning up is that they can study to see how the materials weather over time, as the moon's surface is an environment unlike ours. But if I use that excuse, my roommates call me a lunatic. Ayy. On to number 6. Space snakes. A NASA astronaut who has been on 6 space flights says he has seen space snakes. Dr. Story Musgrave, a man with 6 academic degrees, says he saw things that he couldn't explain properly. He said in a 1994 interview that on 2 of his missions he saw a snake out there. He describes it as 6 to 8 feet long, rubbery, with internal waves in it, and that it follows you for a rather long period of time. He thinks there are a bunch of different creatures out there in the great expanse of space, so if you thought snakes on a plane was something, well, honey, you got a big storm coming, honestly. But on to number 5. Is there a graveyard on the moon? Among the space junk and other mementos left on that big ball of cheese in the sky, there's another guy. A dead legendary planetary geologist to be more precise. On January 6th, 1998, Eugene Shoemaker, the man, the planetary geologist, the legend, was launched in a memorial capsule aboard Lunar Prospector to the moon. And the man had it done in style, let me say. Around the capsule was a piece of brass foil inscribed with an image of a comet Hale-Bopp and an image of meteor crater in northern Arizona. And how could I forget? A passage from William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And which one, you may be asking? And oh, you don't have to ask twice. Or ask at all. I'll say it for you. It read, "And when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun." I think the guy kind of liked the moon, but it's nice. But anyways, you're welcome. If you're not shook, get ready for the next one. This one is number 4, moonquakes? So astronauts be tripping. Seriously. NASA has footage in the archives from the Apollo missions of the 1970s, and astronauts were stumbling around. But why? Maybe moonquakes. Over the 5 years astronauts left seismic sensors on the moon, they recorded evidence of more than 12,000 moonquakes. And a heads up, while our earthquakes typically last under a minute, a moonquake can last an afternoon and often will last over an hour. They last longer because the moon doesn't have large bodies of water to combat the seismic vibrations like the Earth does. So if you're hoping to run away to the moon to get away from the natural disasters that happen on Earth, then you are not going to find that escape on the moon. I'm so sorry, because the moon is shook, fam. That was cringy, I'm so sorry, but we must continue on. On to number 3, the lunar lava tube, or many lunar lava tubes. So there's tunnels on the moon too. Maybe the moon could be a large organic space rock adapted to be an alien spaceship, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. These tunnels I'm talking about are an underground network of lava tubes, or pits on the surface of the moon, that are entrances to underground tunnels that were once filled with lava. A Japanese probe even found a cave 30 miles long and 60 miles wide. So there are unexplored tunnels on the moon. These could hold subsurface ice and therefore water, which is a super important resource that, if discovered, could be used by astronauts during future missions. So I'm thinking kind of a fun place to hold a party. A search party, of course, but a party. So on to number 2, moon dust. Okay, so in the last video, it was brought up that people think that the moon rocks brought back from the lunar surface were fake. This time, let's get more detailed, a little more nitty gritty. Let's talk dust. In 1972, while there for Apollo 17, astronaut Harrison Schmitt sneezed. Then, for a full day, he got described as what he said was a lunar hay fever. That's what he got. His eyes watered, his throat throbbed, and he broke into sneezing fits. But why? He's another one who bit the dust. Just kidding. He's the only one who inhaled the dust, moon dust, which is very dangerous. Moon dust isn't like the dust here on Earth. The particles on the moon are sharp, never erode, and are mainly made up of meteorite pieces. NASA tested a fake version of moon soil and its effect when human cells are exposed to it, and the easily inhalable dust sliced and destroyed up to 90% of lung and brain tissue within 24 hours. Fun. So what about our buddy Harrison Schmitt? Good news for him is that he only took one breath after tracking some moon dirt from coming inside the spaceship, so he's all good and still alive today. But we should all be careful if we want to explore the tunnels in the moon. The moonquakes could really shake loose some of those dangerous particles, so suits will have to be real tight. But let's get into, lastly, number 1, moon warming. Another reason suits have to be tightly sealed: to regulate temperature. The moon doesn't share the same temperature as the Earth, as it can vary from minus 173 degrees Celsius all the way to 127 degrees Celsius, or minus 230 degrees Fahrenheit and up to 260 degrees Fahrenheit. Whichever way you measure it, it's a big, distance apart from what we have here on Earth. The thing is, the temperature also changed a lot right after the astronauts landed. The moon's surface temperature went up nearly 4 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 degrees Celsius. After moon dust gave Schmitt the fever, well, were people giving the moon the fever right back? Probably not. The real reason was probably one that came up in a study in the Journal of Geophysical Research. To sum it up, this story basically said that the 12 Apollo astronauts that walked on the moon kicked up a lot of dirt, and this uncovered a darker soil underneath, and the more heat-absorbing soil that was now uncovered then absorbed enough solar radiation to raise the temperature of the entire moon surface. Like, have you ever sat on a turf field and felt that it was just so hot? It's because the crumb rubber turf retains the heat much more than regular grass. The dark moon soil is just another thing that you don't want to lay down on a sweltering day. It retains so much heat. So other than that, we basically warmed the moon. Just a tad, just a little bit. That's your part 2 for you, and what was the most interesting to you? Tell me in the comments below, and while you're down there, give us a like and subscribe, and maybe even settle in and throw on a playlist. I feel like I learned a lot in my research on this one, so I have even more facts for you. So here's a little bonus content. I have 3 things, and 1, there's lunar standard time. I'm not going to digress too much more, look into it, it's kind of cool. And 2, each year the moon's orbit moves about 4 centimeters away from the Earth, meaning that in a mere 500 million years, the moon will be 14,600 miles farther away than it is right now. So it's kind of like ghosting us, saying goodbye, it's kind of sad. But lastly, my 3rd thing, can moons have moons? The idea that a moon could have a moon, although one such thing doesn't exist in our solar system right now, it has kind of sparked the need for a name, because scientists want to know if they find one, what to call it. And some say moonettes, to which I say giving a female suffix to something that is lesser and revolves around something else is not chill. But others say moonitos, moon with 4 O's, or most popular, moons, which I think is perfectly appropriate, so I think so. What would you call a moon's moon? I want to know, tell me. And that's all I have, so have a good one.